Pedro Pascal is on a heater as one of the most sought-after and beloved actors, with roles following his breakout in Game of Thrones, now famous for leading roles in work like The Last of Us, The Mandalorian, and Fantastic Four: First Steps. SNL loves him, prestige drama loves him, he's TikTok's daddy. The man really seems to be adored across genres, verticals, and mediums. It's a far cry from Sarah Paulson allegedly giving him her per diem so he could eat early on in his acting career. The man is a star, and he gives all appearances of being a lovely and fun person to boot. Let's get into it though. It can't be all social media and red carpet fashion home runs. The acting takes center stage in describing Pascal's mystique, especially as more and even bigger roles for him roll out. Let's break down some of Pedro Pascal's best work. How did he get here? I'm about to tell you.
Have they told you who I am?
Some dead man.
You got a name?
It's a me. Mario.
First, we have an honorable mention. Pedro Pascal as various characters on SNL. My boss said I couldn't slide this one onto the official list, which I guess is technically fair, but also, has he seen Pascal as the protective mom, the beleaguered teacher who keeps getting fan-cammed, and Mario from the gritty Mario Kart adaptation? Performances that were so good he was nominated and won awards as a guest actor, and then he came back for SNL 50 because of that? I don't know, my boss hasn't responded to my many Slack messages about this, but guesting on SNL deserves at least a mention as proof of Pascal's comedic versatility and his ability to make something instantly popular and iconic. That takes a self-awareness, especially on SNL, to dive into the goofier stuff, fully committed, and that just makes me love the guy even more.
Because you have made thousands of fan cams of me, and I'm not sure what they mean, but I know it has to stop.
So, what do you want to see me about?
This role is just a cameo, but much like his guest acting stint on SNL, Pascal proves here that he can do a lot with a little. If Beale Street Could Talk is an excellent film, and even though Pascal is only in it for a few minutes, he manages to steal his scene from the incredible Regina King, who won an Oscar for her role here.
Make a wish. Any wish. Look into my eyes, and everything you've been waiting for, it's all yours.
Hear me out. Hear me out. This movie is inarguably bad. The whole cast singing Imagine by John Lennon was also quite bad. I can't recommend watching this movie to anyone, and I love the Wonder Woman character and really wanted to root for this movie, but it proved impossible. However, Pedro Pascal seems to be the only actor here who knows what movie he's in. Much like Eddie Redmayne as the villain in Jupiter Ascending, Pascal's scene-chewing, metaphorical mustache-twirling, even though he actually shaved his usual mustache for this role, performance as Maxwell Lord made for the only moments of joy I felt watching this film, this very bad, awful film. This list is about the best performances and not the best sum total works, right?
You died. That's what happened.
As much as we love Pedro Pascal as a hero, he is so much fun as a villain. And in The Equalizer 2, he gets to be just that, opposite Denzel Washington. He plays the title character's former partner in the CIA turned contract killer. He taunts Washington and poses a legitimate threat in this thriller. Is this action movie a little ridiculous? Of course. But Pascal wore the role of a troubled covert operative who was chewed up and spit out by his troubles well. And it was one of his biggest gigs to date.
Keva waits, girl. Shoot or help. Just make a move.
This is a performance done largely with a space helmet on, and damn it if Pedro Pascal doesn't have a voice that sounds good through a space helmet, am I right? He also runs through the woods amid dangerous spores with a teenage orphan and has a bit of a southern accent if you want to further compare Prospect to another one of his more famous roles, but this sci-fi indie stands well enough on its own. Pascal is paired with future Book of Boba Fett co-star Sophie Thatcher in some excellent indie sci-fi that leans more on characters than special effects, and was strong enough to take home the Adam Yauch Hornblower Award at South by Southwest. And yes, I mean the award that honors unique and original work without regard to conformity, and yes, I mean MCA of the Beastie Boys.
You need to learn how things work on this island.
In this voice role, Pedro Pascal plays against type as the guy everyone hates. Really though, this is an incredibly touching animated film, and in my opinion, DreamWorks' best ever. Pedro plays a selfish and hungry fox to balance out Lupita Nyong'o's Roz becoming her first animal friend and helping her raise an orphaned bird. Yes, he comes around to no longer being the jerk the whole island hates, and comes to learn about community in this extremely emotional animated film.
So, what exotic destination could pull him away from all this?
On the early end of Pascal's break into being one of the biggest A-list stars there is, was Narcos from Netflix. He starred in 3 seasons, assuming the lead role in season 3 as Javier Peña, based on a real DEA agent tracking down drug cartels and the infamous Pablo Escobar. As the character, he made daring, thrilling, and highly questionable moves, all while the classic Pedro Pascal charisma shined through, and he received many very positive reviews, especially after he took the helm as the lead character.
Did I come over too fast?
Goodbye, Nicolas Cage. I'll never forget your hands.
Pedro Pascal is not just a cool guy who can fight and be a great dad. He's also hilarious. Case in point, 2022's The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Pascal plays a loopy billionaire who is strikingly obsessed with his idol, a grumpy Nicolas Cage, played by Nicolas Cage. They do LSD, make a meme, and go on a madcap criminal bromance adventure where they discover the true arms dealer is the friends they made along the way. Or something. If you love Nicolas Cage movies, this is among the best ones.
You shouldn't drink before a fight.
You learned this during your years in the fighting pits. I always drink before a fight.
In a role that made the world collectively scream, "Who is that guy?" Pedro Pascal got his first major break as Oberyn Martell, the man who just didn't know when to quit. In season 4, Game of Thrones was a justifiably popular show, and Pascal's turn as the suave and privileged Dornish prince with a real axe or spear to grind with House Lannister was one of the most memorable parts of it. While I wish the role had gone on longer, his final scenes made for one of the biggest and best episodes in Game of Thrones history.
I'm prepared to pay you for the information. I'm not leaving my fate up to chance.
Of all Pedro Pascal's roles, Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian, will probably be the one he'll be remembered most for. This is the role that took Pascal from incredibly notable character actor to full-blown leading man as the bounty hunter loner who became the galaxy's best dad. While he may not always be the man in the Mando armor, Pascal shines in the role and is absolutely the central component to the hugely popular Filoniverse Star Wars Renaissance as it stands. He also usually only acts opposite a puppet, albeit an extremely cute one, and makes you care about what he's doing and truly believe him when he says, "This is the way." We can expect to see Pedro Pascal suited up in Beskar again when the Mandalorian and Grogu movie finally comes out.
There is only one way. The way of the Mandalore.
It's okay, baby girl.
The Last of Us is not only one of the greatest video games of all time, it is quite possibly the best video game adaptation of all time. Pedro plays central character Joel in a role of a heartbroken man trying to survive and maybe even mend his own sadness in a world that has fallen apart and is only falling more apart. He grows to love his surrogate child and is left making a difficult choice. Does he do the thing that will help the many but hurt his kid? Or does he prioritize the kid and the love he feels for them? How does his pain, the state of the world, and the growing love in his heart factor into the man he is and the man he could be? I made a video here on IGN about how Joel was right to do what he did. According to the comments section, many of you are still mad about. Even if you don't agree with the character, it's hard to argue that Pascal didn't make him feel real and bring his point of view to life in a heart-rending performance.
Let me go. You just come after her.
And that's our list. Well, for now, at least. Keep in mind that Pascal is very much an in-demand leading actor, and he has many projects on the horizon. Fantastic Four First Steps, paired with Avengers Doomsday, and what I can only assume will be 6 more movies with Nicolas Cage. Pedro Pascal is incredibly talented as a performer and has proved he has many strengths and facets in his repertoire. What is your favorite Pascal performance, though? He has so many other roles and absolutely shines even as a guest star, as some of the entries on this list can attest to. In fact, I'm going to use his unique ability to leave the people wanting more with his performance as Inigo Montoya in home movie The Princess Bride. Hollywood, please don't remake this movie. But if you must, you have to cast Pedro Pascal as Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride.
That Vicini, he can fuss.
Fuss. I think he likes to scream at us.
Probably he means no